Hmm.
Yeah, can continue.
Ah. In the previous class, we discussed about the capitalism and socialism. Capitalism is a peculiar system where all the factors land, labor, capital, organization means all the factors are in the hands of private people. Private people plays important role in capitalism. Merits and demerits already we discussed, hasn't it? And opposite to capitalism, there is a concept of socialism. What to produce, when to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, procedure to produce, everything is decided by the government, isn't it? So here, government agencies plays very important role. Central Planning Authority is the one of the important appearance of socialism. In case of capitalism, market forces, demand and supply market forces plays very important role. This is called a disappear hand. If anything happens or inequality happens, this disappear hand enter into the economy, it settles down all the problems and it again disappear, isn't it? So these are the features already we discussed. Merits of the socialism. Last time I discussed again, I am going to explain it again. You please try to understand. Number one, socialism is the government agencies plays very important role. Welfare is replaced with profit motive. In capitalism, profit motive is very essential part or backbone or breath of economy. Private individuals always tries to earn more and more profits. They chase beyond the profits only. But in case of socialism, private profit or profit motive is replaced by welfare, isn't it? As a result, equitable distribution of wealth happens. Whatever the economy is doing, producing, all the production should be distributed equally, isn't it? And number two, balanced, rapid and balanced growth happens irrespective of rural area person, urban area person, rich or poor or middle class. He will be assured with food, shelter, clothing, etc. Isn't it? Next. Number three. Socialist economy is a planned economy. So what to produce, when to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, everything is made planned by as per government agencies, that is called planning department, isn't it? Next. As it is a planned economy, unemployment is minimized, no fluctuations will happen, and stability will be maintained. Stability means price stability in economy, like that, isn't it? Next, fifth one, there is no profit motive, then automatically there is no class war, haves and have nots. All people are equally distributed by the resources. Government will look after transportation, food, shelter, clothing, production, everything will be looked after by the government only, isn't it? And labor and common people are protected by the government. Government will provide the basic amenities like basic education, health, welfare, etc. Isn't it? There is no monopolies also will not happen in capitalistic, socialistic economy. But in capitalistic economy, it's a possibility of forming monopolies. Next, under socialism, there will be a social security will be there. What is the meaning of social security? Minimum basic needs are provided by the government. Food, shelter, clothing, education, health, isn't it? So these are the basic necessities are provided by the bare necessities are provided by the government and government agencies. These are the up to this point we discussed in the last class. Now, although these many merits are there, some demerits are also there. What are those demerits? Let us see. Most important is demerit is inefficiency, corruption, red tapeism, favoritism. Why? Because here only some government people are responsible for the distribution. And distribution, the only few people are responsible means automatically they will follow red tapeism, favoritism, corruption, isn't it? So indirectly, again, class is creating here. Official class, unofficial class, isn't it? Next, number two. It restricts the freedom. In the case of capitalism, every consumer is having the freedom to select choice. Selection will be there in the case of capitalism. But in case of socialism, there is no freedom. The commodities produced by the government should be used by all the individuals. Hasn't it? Next. There is no right to private property in socialism. In capitalism, people enjoy with the private property and profit motive. In socialism, there is no question of private property. You work and get the basic necessities. These are the very important features of socialism, isn't it? Next. Incentive, there is no incentive for the hard work. In capitalism, there is an incentive for hard work. What is the incentive? Profit motive. They work hard, they will get the more and more profit. But in case of socialism, there is no incentive, there is no private property, isn't it? Next. Prices. Who are determined? Determined by the government itself only. Everything, there is no market forces, isn't it? So here government will decide the prices itself only, in fact, isn't it? Next. These monopolies may not create it, but if it happens to create, these are uncontrollable monopoly may happen. The monopoly will be in the hands of the government only, isn't it? Next, there is no freedom of choice. Consumers cannot choose as per their whims and fancies. No. Next, there is no importance for personal efficiency and productivity. One can work hard, but he can't get any recognition also, hasn't it? Next. And those who are working hard, those who are putting more efforts will not get any additional recognition, hasn't it? So this may stop the enthusiasm of among the people, hasn't it? Next. Extreme form of capitalism, socialism. Extreme form of socialism means, you say here, eradication of poverty. How to eradicate poverty? Is it possible to distribute the income of the country equally to the all individual? Highly impossible. In the same way, the pure form of socialism is highly impracticable, isn't it? Not at all practicable. Now, we are going to discuss about the mixed economy. What is the meaning of mixed economy? You see here, mixed economy depends on both markets and government. Now you see, capitalism depends on market. Socialism depends on government. Mixed economy depends on both market and government. Markets mean two forces, that is demand and supply forces. Now you see here, all the factors are controlled by not only by the private individual, but also government also, isn't it? So here, India is the best example for the So we can cite the best example for the mixed economy, isn't it? So here, mixed economy will have the features of both the features of capitalistic economy and socialistic economy, isn't it? So it will have the features of both the systems. It will have the advantages of the both the systems also, isn't it? So take the example of England and USA, how they developed with the help of this private participation, private individual participation, isn't it? Private people made America as a heaven, isn't it? Private people plays very important role in production, distribution, consumption, isn't it? So we can cite the example of this America, France, Germany, Italy, England, etc. countries for the adoption of a capitalistic economy, and they are successful in implementing the democratic setup of governance in the world, isn't it? But on the other hand, Russia, Cuba, North Korea, these are the countries which implemented the capitalistic socialistic economy, and they also developed fastly, isn't it? But unfortunately, from 1991 onwards, this socialism lost its root. As a result, now the world is inclined towards the capitalism itself only, isn't it? China, once upon a time, China may be considered as a socialistic economy, but now it is also implementing capitalistic economy only, isn't it? Now, coming to the point of view of the features of mixed economy. Number one, coexistence of private and public sector. You see, you take bank, private banks will be there, government banks will be there. Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, IDBI Bank, all these are the private banks. State Bank of India, Dena Bank, Vijaya Bank, these are all types of all of government banks, public sector banks. You see, in banking sector, private banks are there, government banks are there. So you can see the private and public coexistence. Now you see, you're all school going children. Do you know that you are all studying in the private school? Do you know that government also running the schools? These are called government schools, isn't it? So the government schools are run by the government. Private schools are run by the private individuals. See, in case of education also, there is a coexistence of private school and public school. Coming to the point of view of the health, you see, Cloud9 is a hospital, and Rainbow chain of hospitals. These are all private hospitals, isn't it? Parallel to this, Sanjay Gandhi Hospital, Victoria Hospital, Jayadeva Hospital, all these are the government hospitals. You see, in health also there is a public and private coexistence happening. To take whatever the area, finance, education, health, infrastructure, road, gas, petroleum, everywhere you can see this private and public partnership, isn't it? Reliance Petrol, private, HPCL, BPCL, IOC, these are public sector, government agencies are providing the petrol, even gas also. Some Shakti gas like private people are supplying the gas, but HPCL, BPCL, and IOC, these companies are providing the gas by the public government agency. Everywhere you can see this coexistence of private and public sector, isn't it? You see, private sector, what is the meaning of private sector? Production and distribution in this sector are managed and controlled by the private individuals. Reliance Petrol is there. Who is managing Reliance Petrochemicals? Mukesh Ambani, isn't it? Private individual is a company and group, isn't it? Next. Their interest is profit motive itself only, isn't it? So they will take the personal initiative to get more and more profit, doesn't it? But government regularize this private people or private enterprises. Regulatory mechanism will be there, isn't it? Next, public sector. You see, KSRTC, Karnataka State Road Transport Corporation, BMTC, all these are the buses run by the separate corporation for the purpose of public transportation. Isn't it? Profit motive is not important for them. Only the thing is they need to provide the service, last mile connectivity. You are started from home you need to reach the airport or railway station or bus stand, isn't it? So here to catch the bus or train or flight, you need to take the help of this public transportation. I'm not asking you to make only public transportation. You can hire a Ola car, isn't it? And Ola car is a private transportation. Is also coexisting here, isn't it? So here Ola is for profit motive, whereas BMTC and KSRTC is not for the profit motive for providing the service, isn't it? So here, out of the welfare, on the concept of welfare, these are being next. Combined sector. This sector in which both government and private have equal access and join the hands to produce commodities and services leading to the establishment of joint sector. You see, how many of you know nice road? Nandi Infrastructure Development Corridor, nice road. Charan, do you know nice road? Yashwini, do you know
No,
nice
sir.
road?
I don't know.
You see, it is the ring road, connects all the roads like Mysore Road, Magdi Road, isn't it? So it connects all the roads, but we need to pay money for the using of this nice road. How many of you know toll gates while going to Hyderabad or Chennai? You need to stop at particular place and you need to pay the money. Do you know the toll gate?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Very good. So these are the roads developed by the private people. PPP, private public partnership model this is. BOT, build, operate, transfer. They built the road, operating the roads for 25 years till the getting back of their investment, and after that they will transfer the property to the government. You know, Kempegowda International Airport, how many of you know our Bangalore Airport? Do you know? Bangalore is having the biggest airport, Kempegowda International Airport. Do you know that? Yashwini,
Please answer.
Bhavani,
Children, please answer.
No, sir.
please
need to
answer.
be interactive.
Do you know the airport? Do you know or don't know? Tell me.
No, sir.
Okay. You see, like railway station, like bus terminal, like there's BMTC biggest bus stations. A lot many are there now. These are the for public transportation purpose. In the same way, for international travel, India is a vast country. We need to move from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Bangalore to Chennai, Bangalore to Delhi, Bangalore to Mumbai, Bangalore to Kolkata. If you go by road or if you go by the train, it takes hours together, isn't it? For example, Mumbai journey, minimum 14 hours train, 16 hours to 18 hours bus, isn't it? Delhi, 48 hours, 54 hours bus. But in the case of aeroplane, it takes 1.5 hours or 2 hours, that's all, simple. Isn't it? So internal connectivity purpose we require the plane, isn't it? So aeroplanes, for the purpose of aeroplanes landing and moving, we need biggest stations. These aeroplane stations are called airports. Bangalore International Airport is constructed by the GMR company, Gandhi Mallikarjun Rao and company, GMR company, isn't it? So their operating system is BOLT, build, operate, lease, transfer. This is the PPP model, public-private partnership model. Land belongs to state government. Permission belongs to central government. Construction belongs to GMR. These three people will involve and they develop the airport. I have already developed the airport. Condition is for 30 years, GMR will collect the money from the passengers. Service charge. Those who are using the airport has to pay 750 rupees now, isn't it? Whoever coming and going, the coming to Bangalore and going from Bangalore need to pay 750 minimum amount as a user charges. Per day, lakhs of people will travel from Bangalore to other parts of the country, other parts of the world, and some lakhs of people will come to the Bangalore in flight. So from all those people, they are collecting the user charges. For 30 years, they will collect like this. Not only this, but cargo planes are also there. Cargo planes, from Bangalore, we are expecting fruits, flowers. Fruits and flowers are perishable goods. We need to export or send it very fastly. For that purpose, we need to use aeroplanes. So for that purpose, these cargo purpose also they are collecting, they are getting lot of revenue. For the cargo also they are collecting the money, isn't it? So this is called PPP model, private public partnership, isn't it? Combined sector, a sector which both government and private enterprises have equal access and join hands to produce commodities and services, lead to the establishment joint sector. Private people and government people will join the hands, isn't it? Now understand, you need to write this is a peculiar feature of Indian economy. India is following a mixed economy. The best example for the mixed economy in the world is India only, followed by Mexico and one more country in South America, isn't it? So here, what are what are the features, advantages of, isn't it? Now, the most important thing is any economy, capital formation is very difficult. Where to get the capital? Most of the countries depending upon foreign countries for their capital. But in a mixed economy like that, there is an incentive for hard work, they will get the profit. These profits are again reinvested again and again, isn't it? So as a result, automatically capital formation will happen. Price mechanism and competition both will be there. Price mechanism means already I told you in the capitalistic economy. In the capital while using the capitalism, there is a market. These forces plays very important predominant role in capitalistic economy. Same in mixed economy also, as I told you, this price mechanism also prevails in mixed economy also, hasn't it? And there is a proper governments will allocate the resources to the various sectors in efficient way, hasn't it? Next. In mixed economy, there is a consumer sovereignty. Consumers will have the choice facility. They can choose from the abundant variety of goods. You see, if you go to the any shopping mall, if you want to purchase a soap, lot many types of soaps are there. You'll have the choice to select as per your requirement. You see, in the case of winter, we all use PF like soap, glycerin soap only. isn't it? In case of summer, we use light soaps, isn't it? Like that. As per the choice, as per the season, we can change our requirements, fashion, isn't it? Next, technological progress. Information technology, India is playing very important role, predominant role, isn't it? So whatever the technological changes happens, we can adopt very easily in the mixed economy, isn't it? Next. Risk taking entrepreneurs can take the risk. Why? Because they are having the profit motive. As profit motive is there, they are ready to take the risk also, isn't it? Next, government also plays very important role with plans. Now you see, previously government of India has the planning commission, isn't it? Now planning commission is replaced by one more mechanism here, isn't it? Anyway, one government agency will be there for the planning of resources, isn't it? Next, social equality, economic equality, freedom, everything will be there, and there is no exploitation from the point of view of the like in capitalistic economy, isn't it? So that there will be a freedom, economic freedom, political freedom, what all types of freedom will be there. There is no exploitation, isn't it? And all people will actively participate in the economy to develop the economy, isn't it? Next. There is a disadvantage also there. What are those? Cutthroat competition. There is a cutthroat competition means their private individuals prevail, isn't it? So as a result, private individuals, they plays very important role. They always tries to get more and more profit, isn't it? There is a wastage of resources in the form of advertisements, etc., etc., isn't it? And legislation will be there, environmental legislation, labor legislation, etc., etc. Government from time to time they will enact the legislations in assemblies and parliaments, isn't it? Mixed economy, we can say that mixed economy is a golden path. Golden path means it is a medium path between the capitalistic economy and socialistic economy, isn't it? Between capitalism and socialism. But it suffers from abundant, substantial uncertainties. Why? Because both the systems we are following, we may get the advantage of both the systems, sometimes disadvantage of the both the systems, isn't it? Mixed economy is characterized by excessive control by the state, resulting in reduced incentives and constrained growth of the private sector. You see, always there is a restriction from the government. Government always tries to restrict it, control it. As a result, private sector could not grow, hasn't it? So lot many regulatory agencies are there, In India, TRAI, Telephone Regulatory Authority of India. TRAI is there. SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India. TRAI is for telephone purpose. And this this is for stock exchange or private investment purpose. RBI, Reserve Bank of India, is for the banking purpose. UGC and CBSG, these are the regulatory bodies for the education purpose. So this, as a result, what will happen? Private individual cannot develop a law, isn't it? So as a result, private individual face a continuity problem, isn't it? And most important thing is poor implementation, poor development of infrastructure, planning, taxation, lack of efficiency, corruption, wastage of resources, undue delay in economic decisions, and poor performance of public sector. So all these are the perennial problems, continuous problems. Perennial means continuous problems of this mixed economy, hasn't it? So It's very difficult to maintain the proper balance between the private and public sector. Private always tries to exploit, get more and more profit. But on the other hand, public always tries to provide the benefit, isn't it? So that's why private sector is likely to grow disproportionately. The system would then resemble capitalism with all its disadvantages. You see, now you see, you take the example of Ambani and Adani. All these capitalistic people, what they are doing, they are investing and reinvesting again and again. As a result, we can see more private individuals participation only, isn't it? So that's why we can conclude that namesake mixed economy is there, but who is dominating here? Private people only dominating, isn't it? Top 10 people are there like Tatas, Birlas, Mofadlas, Singhanias, Ambanis, Sadanis, etc., etc. Top 10 people are there. These top 10 people are playing very important role. They are controlling the government also. Even government people also influenced by these people, isn't it? So you take the any of the area, isn't it? Even the press, the television, media, whatever, wherever it may be, whatever the business may be, these private people are playing very important role, predominant role. As a result of what we are getting, we can simply say that although the namesake is the mixed economy, but capitalism is prevailing a lot, isn't it? Even in China also, they started the system as a socialism, but actually private economy, private people are playing very important role in China also, isn't it? So gradually what is happening all over the world is we are inclined towards the capitalistic economy only. That's why investments are flowing from the various countries to India, isn't it? You take the example of our stock exchange, like BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange, Nifty, National Stock Exchange, Nifty 50. So like that, the all international investors are trying to invest in money in the Indian economy, isn't it? For the getting of benefit or profits in a short term. So this leads to India as a destination for the investment. Most of the people are feeling India is the best destination for growing their capital, growing their money. So that's why we can conclude that there are three systems are prevailing in the world. Number one, capitalist economy, followed by America. It prevails all over the world. 90% of countries are following this capitalistic economy, isn't it? And private property is allowed. Market forces plays very important role, isn't it? Consumer is considered as a sovereign. He will get the choice of chance like that. But and other extreme end, there is a socialism. In socialism, only government plays very important role. Central planning authority will be there, isn't it? And as a result, what we will get? So we are going to get some sort of basic necessities like food, shelter, clothing, education, health, like that, isn't it? Next. On the other hand, there is a mixed economy also there. In the mixed economy, coexistence of private and public partnership, isn't it? Private public partnership is a very, very important combination of mixed economy, isn't it? So mixed economy combines the features of socialism, features of capitalism. It derives the benefits of socialism and capitalism. Sometimes it may get the derive the benefit disadvantage of socialism and capitalism, isn't it? So for for this, we can simply say that no system is superior system in the world. Every system is having its own advantages and disadvantages. So historically, after getting independence in 1947, our rulers, the first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, he decided to follow the socialistic pattern of society by implementing the mixed economy. On those days, India is the poorest of the poor country in the world. There is no investment. So if we invite more private people for the investment from the foreign countries, they exploit a lot. So that's why he realized the fact on those days only. He followed the mixed economy and decided to follow the capitalistic, socialistic pattern of society means. So government plays very important role.
Shall we join
Gradual-
again, sir? Its meeting is going to end.
No, madam, sufficient. This is closed.
Yeah,
This
okay.
chapter is
You can conclude. Right. Yeah.
I'm concluding it.
Yeah.
So after that, so they made it as by 1991. They realized that socialism is not going to get any benefit. So they implemented the liberalized economy in 1991. P.V. Narasimha Rao and Manmohan Singh started the liberalized our economy. So from that day onwards, we are inclined towards the capitalism, not socialism. We started our journey as a socialist country, but now we are